Hi, so mates, welcome to another free online tutorial. So we're going to learn how to make this beautiful top and skirts together. Okay, to start with, you can start with any basic bodice of choice, either basic bodice with a freehand basic bodice, shoulder that basic bodice, or bust that basic bodice technique. Either ways, okay. Just make sure you do your drafting properly. Okay, the next thing you have to do is just to do your armhole tightening before the princess postel, because it's actually a princess postel. Okay, you need the armhole tightening. After that, if you're using any particular, if you're using a shoulder that's technique, then you have to transfer the shoulder darts to the armhole you just cut out there. Okay, then you get to measure your underbust length just the way I'm doing. Do your underbust tightening just the way I'm doing as well. Then you connect it back to the waist. That's just that, just like this. Okay, so if your own bodies, if your own basic bodies is actually some kind of bust that, then leave it. Don't transfer it to anywhere at this point. Okay, by the time you are done with your drafting, you can transfer it. The next thing I had to do here is to elongate my armhole to make it longer, because I feel like it's going to be kind of smaller than I wanted it. Okay, and of course, because of the tightening we did on the armhole, it makes the bust that's kind of shorter. Okay, which is why I added more added about some kind of few inches to that over, just to make sure it is equal. And at this point, I'm trying to trace out my skirt pattern like separately, as you can see. Then I measure the length of my blouse. Remember that it's a skirt and top. Okay, so I measure the length, as you can see, and this is what I have at this point. I label the center front as center front. I get my yoke length. Yes, it does not have yoke. If you feel like you want to had a joke, then it's fine. It depends on your creativity. Okay, so that is basically measure the yoke length and the depth of the neckline. Of course, it's a sweetheart neckline. Okay, I'm using this to show you that you can see that the armhole is kind of equal if I'm about to sew it. Okay, then you have to close it like that so you get the length of your, you get out your yoke just like that. Okay, and at this point I feel like I wanted to do something like a queen hand neckline, which is why I measure the queen hand neckline, as you can see right there. Okay, so and I've opened up the bustier part, because I closed it before I continue, before I cut the yoke out, right? Then I do the under bust tightening, and I do extra tightening towards the center front. Remember that it's a pieces top. You can make yours 6 pieces or 8 pieces, but the original style we are trying to replicate is actually 8 pieces top. Okay, so whatever, but I'm using a miniature dress basic bodice, which is why I'm using 6 pieces in my own case. Just can be 8 pieces. Okay, then I added, and of course, if you want to do all this extra tightening on this extra excess for the pieces top, make sure you did not add too much to it to avoid any bulkiness. Okay, then as you can see, I added a little bit of access to every part of it except the middle. You can say I did not add to that middle part. You can say that's because there is a cone over there, a cone shape. So as for the cone shape, you start from about at least half or 1 inch above the waistline. So that is then to the length of your top. That is what I will be measuring right here. You can see the way I'm measuring the type of a kind of triangular form. Then I will make it a cone, as you can see. Okay, so this is my cone that I will be adding. Some people call it abe or something. So I will be adding it in between this number two and number three pieces of top. And remember that there is no excess on the part on that part. And this is shoulder, back shoulder. Okay, I want to alter my back pattern at this point. Then first of all make sure the length of the shoulder of the back is the same as the shoulder of the front. Then the side seam of the front is the same as side seam of the back. Of course, they have to be equal because of the joining process and the sewing procedure. Okay, so then you can see I'm trying to cross check the length I used for the back, for the front and the back as well. Then I will be following the process of um tracing out the pattern of this skirt separately the way I did on the back. Okay, so I actually had to do that. So I won't alter my skirt pattern because I still need the skirt pattern separately in for the skirt drafting procedure. Okay, at this point I need to determine the where my where I will divide the pieces of this back bodice. Okay, that is where I choose to divide it. And at this point, if your client has a kind of very curvy shape, you can decide to tighten that waist of the second of the second line you draw right now. Okay, but if the person does not have really curvy shape, like a very small waist and a wider hip, then you can leave it like that and just eliminate your zipper bulge, just the way I'm doing right now. So I eliminated the zipper bulge, then labeled my pattern with number 4, 5, and 6 because my own is 6 pieces pattern. Okay, or should I say 12 pieces in all or so? So then you can make your own height. It depends on whatever you want. Okay, then I'm cutting out my pattern piece at this point. Of course, I've labeled it, and please make sure you label the upper part as the upper part because by the time you're done, everything might look identical. And the cone you drafted for the back will be used for the front as well. Okay, so now let's alter our skirt pattern. Remember that the skirt pattern is actually an A-line skirt. Okay, if you want yours to be otherwise, then you can just do it. Okay, then I do the knee tightening. I will cancel the darts. The darts, I will be eliminating the darts on the side seam just the way I did right there. Okay. Then I will be following the same process for the back. But instead of eliminating the darts on the side seam of this back, I will be eliminating it on the center back because of the zipper bulge I want to eliminate there initially. Okay. Then I eliminate some kind of bulginess on the knee line on the back, center back. There is always some kind of watchiness there, so you should be able to figure out the solution to that. Okay, then I want to alter my skirt pattern to an A-line skirt as well on this back. Okay, as you can see, I placed it on another paper just to add of course whatever you add to the whatever wideness you added to the back, so the back will be much more than the one you added to the front. Okay, for example, let's say you added about 4 inches extra to the side seam of the back of the front when you're drafting it. The back should be way more than that because back should be fuller, but the fullness depends on the amount of fabrics and the preference of the clients you're making it for. Okay, and of course you can probably try to make the length of the back longer just like this. You can see the way I did it, so just try to make it longer like that and you're good to go. Then you for the sleeve, you know there is some kind of flounce on the sleeve part, so I drafted the flounce on this fabric directly. Okay, and I folded the fabric in four. Okay, so I will have it in double. So that is basically all about the flounce, and I cut it out. If you feel like this will not be enough for you, just cut as many as possible. Okay, so you have a very fuller sleeve, a fuller flounce on your sleeve. Okay, and that is basically all about the flounce on the sleeve. The next thing I'll be doing now is to cut my pattern, my fabrics with my patterns. And as you can see on the skirt pattern, I cut it on a bias form, so I will have a kind of a very flow effect on the center back because of the extension, the wideness, and everything I did there. Okay, and voila, this is the result of our pattern. Thank you for watching.